and they're reading our manifesto.
Jeder ist kreativ.
Todos somos creativos.
Everyone is creative.
Une vie créative exige bravoure et acceptance.
Ärlighet och hårt jobb.
We are here to support you.
Să celebrăm alături de tine.
E invitarte a hacer las cosas que amas.
We believe in giving a damn.
我们相信面对面的互动。
En aprender de los demás.
Hugs and high five.
Unimos pessoas que são movidas por paixão e propósito.
Qu'ils s'inspireront mutuellement.
In Nachbarschaften und Städten auf der ganzen Welt werden.
Todos son bienvenidos.
Alla är välkomna.
Toată lumea este binevenită.
我们欢迎每个人。
Tout le monde est le bienvenu.
Everyone is welcome.
So this is our manifesto, and I always get goosebumps because, yeah, really all over the world you find Creative Mornings, and we organize events. So especially right now, check out all our other events and just connect to each other, because I think that's the best time to show that, yeah, we need each other. But today, so in Cologne, we decided to have a weekly travel trip. And today we are traveling from New Zealand to Germany. Hi, and
hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here.
So maybe you just introduce yourself, because I know that a few people don't know you.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, my name is Ant Utama. I'm a singer-songwriter from New Zealand, but I live here in Cologne in Germany. And so my background is I have a marketing background. For like 8 years. I worked full-time in a brand manager role for like, first it was the liquor industry, and then it was the cosmetics industry. But you know, the reason I'm in Cologne is for love. And so I moved to the other side of the world and thought, hey, like, was I happy doing what I was doing? And I wasn't unhappy, but I wasn't passionate about it. And so, yeah, so since arriving in Germany, I've been working full-time as a musician, which, as you can imagine, is probably not a wise decision during the current crisis, but it's okay. I'm surviving. Yeah, that's kind of my story. But yeah, I'm going to explain all of that as we go through this. Well, I'm going to smash through it in 1 hour.
But how is it? Because I was in New Zealand and I was just impressed by all the landscape. It was really incredible. And now you're in Cologne, in this industrial city, or industrial area. There are no mountains, or I think compared to New Zealand, our mountains are really, really bad. Or yeah, how is it?
Yeah, the nature is definitely well, funny thing is that I don't really feel like I miss it until I visit home, and then I'm like, oh wow, yeah, okay, that's what I was missing, and that's what I you know, reminds me of home. But I feel like I don't miss it until, and I don't realize what I have until I visit back home. But I am happy here as well. New Zealand can sometimes, whilst the nature's beautiful, it can also be a little bit boring because, you know, it's a trade-off. And so Cologne is an exciting city with a lot of things going on. So I'm happy to be here.
So when you moved to Cologne, have you ever been here before? Or was it really for love, a decision?
I had been here once, but it's part of the love story. So, yeah, I mean, like, as a musician, your first choice is like Berlin is the kind of the first city that comes to mind. But My girlfriend's parents live near Koblenz, which is a city that's about 1 hour from Cologne, and that's kind of why we chose Cologne. And it's still a great city to be as an artist, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that you have some music and a little introduction as well. So maybe you can start with your story. Because
cool.
I see that you have a lot of people here. It's also from New Zealand, from Aotearoa. Oh, okay. And we have someone from Berlin, from Seattle. So, hey, everybody, please use your chat whenever you want. And it's so amazing to see all of you.
Yeah, and I know that Mecca is there. So hello to Mecca. He's streaming in from New Zealand, and it's like 6 a.m. So well done for getting up that early. All right, I'm going to get started. So welcome. My name is Andrew Tama, singer-songwriter from New Zealand, and I'm going to take you on my little journey. So expectations, it's a little bit different to the other presentations that you've had. So it's going to be like 50-50 ratio talking to music. So yeah, I like all the music that I write has like experience and true feelings that I can kind of explain through pictures, and so I will accompany whilst singing with pictures or video. And it's also, unlike previous presentations, it's a very broad one, so it spans about 6 years of my life, and we're condensing that into 1 hour. So it's very like scraping the surface. It's not really, we're not diving deep into a specific place, but it's just in general the experiences that I've had and how that's kind of shaped me as a person. And the overall theme is follow your heart, which sounds so cliche, but I still think it's true. And I'll give you like 3 examples of when I followed my heart.
It's always good to follow the heart.
So I'm not going to talk too much about New Zealand, but you know, life in New Zealand, we are a very relaxed country, which is quite the opposite of Germany, in the sense that, you know, New Zealand's very relaxed and there's not much bureaucracy. There's not many systems in place. It's just, and things just seem to work without it. And I think that's just because of the culture, but also because it is a small country. When you have a small country, you know, you don't need to have all these layers and systems in place. So that was a shock to me. I mean, I knew Germany had this reputation of being very logical and systematic, and it's definitely true.
Is it?
Oh yeah, yeah. The process, immigration process, insurance, all of that. Which, but it's good. It's good. It's, you know.
It's funny that Emma from Italy is also laughing about it.
Yeah, I can see her face. She's laughing.
Me, as a German girl, I never really see me like that, but maybe I'm not typical German, so maybe.
My favorite is the Ordnungsamt.
Ordnungsamt, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what do these people even do? But yeah, Ordnungsamt, maintaining order.
Ordnungsamt, yeah.
Yeah, so these are people basically who maintain order, and they're not policemen. They're kind of like, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so the second point is that New Zealand is very isolated, which has its pros and cons. So in a situation like this, in an epidemic, it's a great place to be. It's you know, super safe. They can shut off the borders. You only can go in through via airplane. So if there are no flights going, there's going to be no people coming in. So I think that it's at 1,500 cases at the moment, which is not a big deal. So yeah, in that sense, it's a positive, but it's also a negative because you can't really see the world. We're stuck on the other side of the world, and it's like super remote, which is great, but at times it can be boring, especially if you kind of a young person in your early 20s and you want to go out and have fun and see the world. The third point is we're a young country, and that relates to point 2, because when I say we're a very young country, the Europeans only arrived in New Zealand around the 1800 mark. So if you compare that history to Europe, it's crazy how young it is. We don't have these crazy old architectural beautiful buildings and churches and museums. And also in the form of culture, I feel like our culture is very young as well. And when you go to Europe and you see, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, all these diverse cultures, and they're so complex, and it's built in because of the history. And when you're in New Zealand, we just don't have any of that, and it's so interesting when you come over here to see that perspective. And the last point is, it is beautiful. It was the backdrop for Lord of the Rings, and it's known for being this gorgeous place. And it's like one of the, I'm not sure if there are other places in the world, but it's one place where you can, in the morning, drive up the mountain and go skiing, and drive back down to the beach and go surfing that afternoon. So that's really cool. I don't really ski or surf, so it's kind of a waste on me, but that is what we have in our country, which is amazing. But yeah,
I've been to New Zealand and I really, really loved it. I think it was so amazing, waking up in the morning in the sunshine, hiking up a snow mountain in the afternoon, and having an amazing breakfast at the beach in the evening.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely one of the places you should go once in your life.
Yeah, once we are allowed to travel again, put it on your list.
We will.
All right, now moving on. So as I said, the story starts about 6 years ago, and it started because I had a long-term girlfriend for 5 years, and we broke up amicably. But I was just kind of lost, and my friend said, well, why don't you just, she was going to Europe to do a bit of a backpacking trip, and she said, why don't you come with me? And I just said, well, okay. So I just I quit my job, and I decided, I would join her in Europe. And as I mentioned before, like in New Zealand, not having the history and the culture that there is in Europe, it's very overwhelming seeing, like, you got pictures of the Colosseum, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Louvre, and as I said, it was very overwhelming, seeing things I've only seen on television and movies, or on, sorry, someone was banging for some reason, one of the neighbors. Where was I? Things that I've learned in history class, and I was actually seeing them for the first time, and it was just super interesting and surreal. So that leads me on to my first song, and it's called Small Town Traveler, and it's about traveling and just seeing the world. And I've got a slideshow of pictures of my traveling to go along with it. And normally I do live streams and the pictures are in this little corner, but this time the pictures are going to be in your screen. So there might be some close-ups of my face that might be a bit intense. So I apologize.
But you can also, I have no idea how it works with the shared desktop, but I think you can also switch to the speaker mode. When you go to the corner on the right top, there are options for speaker view. So then it should be also that you are really in the focus.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, try that if that works for you. But
otherwise, you just enjoy the music.
All right, I'll get started. And this song is called Small Town Traveler.
week of clothes, saved up cash, anticipation grows. He prepared himself for what he's heard. Small town boy's gonna travel the world. All his mates have done the trip. It's a rite of passage to get on the ship. He takes one step upon new land. In his mind, it's one small step for man. He's a small town traveler. He's got no sense of time. He's a small town traveler, drinking till the sun don't shine. Meeting new people and seeing the sights. Same old story every day and night. He's a small town traveler. And this is a song he writes. His first impression is culture shock. All he'll do is walk and walk and walk, 'cause he's lost in translation in a foreign land. A good opportunity to work on his tan. He looks up, the locals look straight, getting on with life and no time to wait. He feels so small and insignificant, overwhelmed by all the magnificence. He's a small town traveler. He's got no sense of time. He's a small town traveler, drinking till the sun don't shine. Meeting new people and seeing the sights. Same old story every day and night. He's a small town traveler. And this is a song he writes. Gets to see so many things up close in real life. Never has he ever felt quite so alive. Places that he's learned about in history, and things he's only ever seen on film and TV. Everything to him seems so bizarre, in a strange, strange land that is so very far from his small hometown where you cross the globe. But now he's learned to go with the flow. He's a small town traveler. He's got no sense of time. Small town traveler, drinking till the sun don't shine. Meeting new people and seeing the sights. Same damn story every day and night. Small town traveler. And this is a song he writes. Yeah, thank you very much.
Amazing.
So, yeah, it was a song I wrote about 6 years ago about my experience.
I saw a lot of clapping hands and emojis. So
thank you very much, guys.
So I'm just presenting everyone.
Thank you so much. The pictures are still rolling, but yeah. So that was a song I wrote like 6 years ago about my experience traveling for the first time. And I think it's a different experience for someone from New Zealand just because we have so little there, you know, like it's just so remote. And yeah, and it was like an amazing eye-opening experience. And, you know, part of this travel was when, you know, I met my girlfriend, Alida, the reason I'm here in Cologne.
Lucky for us.
Yeah. So, sorry?
What's her name?
Oh, her name is Alida.
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 Thank you, Alida.
Alida. And so, yeah, Europe was a very like Europe for beginners trip, I might say. Like it was all the big cities. It was like 5 days in Amsterdam, Paris, Rome, Venice, Berlin, you know, that sort of trip. So it was like Europe for beginners. But after that, I went to travel the US just for 6 weeks. And then I ended up in Southeast Asia. And that's where I met this lovely girl called Alida in a hostel in Vietnam, in Hanoi. And yeah, I mean, we just instantly clicked. I mentioned before that I had just come out of a 5-year relationship, and she had also come out of a 5-year relationship prior to traveling. So immediately we clicked because we had that in common, and we could relate to each other. And I just like fell in love straight away. And so we traveled Cambodia for 1 month together, which was amazing. It's still, I think, both of our favorite countries. I don't know if it's because we were with each other, but just we really loved the people. The people were so friendly and smiley and kind, and you know, when you travel, especially to like a third world country, and you know, seeing how happy they are when they don't have much, like that's super humbling and a very interesting perspective to have, because we're all stressed in our, you know, first world problems, but these people have nothing, and they seem to enjoy life. And yeah, I think we can all learn from these people. And it's not like they're naive and they don't know what they're missing. You know, they see these tourists come in with all their money, and they're still happy. And so yeah, so we really loved Cambodia, and Alida had a ticket home, so she had to fly back home to Germany. And I traveled for 2 more weeks in Southeast Asia by myself. And I caught up with a friend in Singapore. I told him I'd fallen in love, and told him all about this girl. And he said, well, why don't you just go to Germany then, like now? And I was like, what? And he said, look, you don't have a job to go back to. You don't have a flight home. You're completely flexible. This is the one time in your life you can do something like this. And I said, okay. So I texted her. I said, should I come to Germany? And she said, yeah, come. So I flew to Germany 1 week later, and we spent 6 weeks in Germany, but also doing a little bit of travel throughout Eastern Europe as well. And so that kind of, yeah, really strengthened our relationship and made it feel a little bit more real, because I think a lot of people know what travel relationships are like, and sometimes they can feel like a dream. And so, yeah, that made it feel a little bit more real. So after 6 weeks, I had to come back home to New Zealand. And so we had to do long distance for 6 months. But within that 6 months, I did another visit to Germany for like 1 week, which was so expensive and not really worth the time, but I just wanted to see her. So yeah, and then 6 months later, Alida decided she would move to New Zealand. She had just been made redundant from her job, and she thought, well, I might as well go to New Zealand now. So in New Zealand, we lived together for 2 years. And after 2 years, she said, you know, I miss my mom and I miss my dad, and I want to, you know, be close to them. And I said, okay, I'll come with you. And I had never lived overseas before. I had done a bit of travel, backpacking and whatnot, but I'd never like lived somewhere and outside from my home. And so in that sense, it was kind of a big step for me. And so we said, yeah, we're going to move to Germany. But before that, we'll go on another backpacking trip. So we went to South America, Mexico, California, throughout an 8-month trip. And then we went to Germany after that. And, you know, I was thinking, you know, this is a big step for me, not having only ever lived at home. And I thought something very cheesy. I thought, well, as long as I'm with her, I would feel like I was at home. So this song is called Home Is Where You Are. And whether it's in Germany, whether it's in New Zealand, or whether we're on the road, I would feel like I was at home because I was with her. And when I mentioned, yeah, and when I say, I mentioned earlier that the theme was to follow your heart. This is the first time I followed my heart. By nature and by how I've been raised, I'm a very kind of like think logically person. But this was kind of one of the first times I thought with my heart, and I just, you know, you met this girl in a hostel from the other side of the world. Most people might just say, oh, leave it, you know, on to the next girl or something like that. But with my heart, I was like, no, she's the one. So yeah, I'm going to sing this song. It's called Home Is Where You Are. And I've got some more cheesy couple photos to show you. Just as a warning, they're pretty romantic. So if you don't like cheesiness, you might get a little sick.
But I can just say that it was a really nice, how you say, a nice connection to our global theme that nature. Today, this month in June, it's May, right? This quarantine, I'm losing really the time, so it's May, and our global theme is nature. And like you said, so your nature is normally not doing it, but you really risk something, and so maybe we all should risk something for love. So thank you.
Yeah, and I got a couple more risks to show you. But firstly, here is Home Is Where You Are. Hey, when we first met, the start of a brand new journey began. You walked into my life, girl, you opened every part of my plan. I threw my plans all away so that I could hear you say you love me. Yes, you want me. Decided you lit me up. Could not believe my love. Now I know where I need to be. Home is where you are, no matter how far from the land I was born. Gonna follow my star. I wanna go for this ride, you by my side, as we travel the world to see just you and me come alive. Home is where you are. Hey, when I'm with you, the music inside me spells something new. You're my living proof that a guy like me could find his groove. I threw my plans all away so that I could hear you say you love me. Yes, you want me. The sight of you lit me up. Could not believe my luck. Now I know where I need to be. Yeah. Home is where you are, no matter how far from the land I was born. Gotta follow my star. I wanna go for this ride, you by my side, as we travel the world to see just you and me come alive. Home is where you are. 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 Oh, home is where you are. 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 No matter how far from the land I was born. Gotta follow my star. I wanna go for this ride with you by my side, as we travel the world to see just you and me come alive.
Woo!
Thank you very much.
I think
that was home is where
story.
you are.
You really get goosebumps, and you
Wow.
want to find
I think it's the girls love the story. The guys might be like, oh yeah.
No, I just saw a guy who clapped their hand. No. And I saw all the guys were saying, yeah. No, I just want to fall in love. Okay, continue with your story.
All right.
Yes,
So yes.
I'm a guy and I've got some goosebumps too. That was lovely. So.
Oh, thank you so much. You were romantic.
Ever.
So left New Zealand and the first stop was South America. And I'm not going to go into too much depth about South America, but it's amazing. Like the landscape is amazing. But if you're going to go, make sure you learn basic Spanish. That is a mistake we made. And we just thought, English is the international language. We'll be fine. And it made it quite difficult to travel without a basic understanding of Spanish. So first and foremost, make sure you do that if you're going to go to that area. But it's an amazing place. We basically spent 6 months in South America, and then we went on to Mexico. And I also should mention like street dogs. There are street dogs everywhere when you travel, especially these kind of third world countries. And I always fell in love with them. So I just wanted to kind of make a point of that. And it leads on to the next song, because this little, on the bottom left, that picture of that dog, that's Daisy. And you would have noticed Daisy in some of the pictures with Alida and I. And we met this dog in Mexico, a street dog, and we brought her to Germany. And
okay.
Yeah.
Because there was also one question: where exactly did you go in South America? So because you said Spanish was the main language, but especially in Brazil, you speak more Portuguese.
Brazil is So South America. Yeah, South America is huge. Like in 6 months, we felt like we saw only a tiny. Like, and if I look at my favorites on Google Maps, I can see that I've only seen such a tiny selection of South America. So, but we were just we started in Buenos Aires. We went to Paraguay, and we were only in the Pantanal area of Brazil, which is kind of on the west, bordering Bolivia. And then we went into Bolivia to Peru, to Colombia, and then we flew from Colombia to Mexico. But it's huge. It's huge. There's 24-hour bus rides. Like, it's crazy. So like when I fly home to New Zealand, it's like it's not even a big deal, because I've been in 24-hour bus rides, and they're not very nice buses. So.
Perfect. Just to get a little imagination where you're traveling.
And I would talk into more depth about that, but we don't have time for it, unfortunately.
But what was your favorite South American country?
Our favorite South American country was, I'd say, for the people, I would say Colombia.
Our next talk next week, by the way.
Yeah, they're very fiery, passionate sort of people, and yeah, super friendly. But in terms of landscape, I'd say Bolivia, just because we went to the Uyuni salt flats, and that place is overwhelming. It's crazy. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
And you have a song for us.
Yeah, so I mentioned street dogs, and so we met Daisy, and we met Daisy in a small town called San Jose del Pacifico, and I actually met one of the guys in this call in San Jose del Pacifico, but he's also a fellow New Zealander. And just by coincidence, we met in this little town, and this town is known amongst backpackers for magic mushrooms. That's where all the backpackers go, for magic mushrooms. And yeah, And so that's what they look like. I'm not someone who takes drugs. Just let me say that. But I was kind of traveling, and I was like, hey, if this town is famous for it, and as an artist, you know, I'm well aware that a lot of artists use substances for activity, and I thought, well, let's see what this does. And you know, it's actually a very spiritual experience, because you take it out in nature while hiking, and like yeah, and honestly, you do feel connected to nature when you take it. But so when we decided to have these mushrooms, we went hiking, but we got lost, and that's when this street dog came along and sat by us. And the street dog hung out with us for about 5 hours. We were just sitting there, just relaxing. And then we're like, okay, we need to go home, but we don't know where home is. But we just followed this dog, and you know, she would be 10 meters ahead of us, and she would kind of turn, waiting for us. And then when she would see us, she'd go ahead, and she was like actually leading us back home. And we immediately fell in love with this dog. And we named her Daisy, after this daisy that Alida is holding here. Because on mushrooms, this daisy looked amazing. And that's kind of why we named the dog Daisy. But Daisy's actually right here.
That's Daisy.
She's just
so she traveled the world. You can really say your Daisy traveled the world.
She's traveled the world. And so follow your heart is my theme. Daisy is the second time I followed my heart. You know, the idea of adopting a street dog in Mexico and trying to take it to Europe, that's just a crazy idea. Like, yeah, no way, that'll be too hard. It's just a silly idea. It shouldn't be even considered. But I thought, you know, I'll do the research. You know, so we went back to the nearest town. We tried, you know, we went to a vet, and we said, you know, we met this dog. We're in love with her, and you know, what are the procedures we need to take? What vaccinations does she need? What is the cost? And they gave us the information, and turns out it wasn't that difficult. It wasn't easy, but you know, it was possible, and it wasn't thousands of euros or thousands of dollars. It was probably all up. It was probably 600-700 euros to get her to Germany.
But I can really tell you that I love the idea that you really took her home and not adopting a random dog in Cologne, because it's easier. Sometimes you have to fight for something, but you really get something in return. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and we got this cool story with her, and so we, you know, and then we decided, okay, we're going to adopt her. So we had to go back to the town, which is 3 hours away, and we lost her. Like, we couldn't find her anywhere. And so, long story short, after 5 days of searching, we found her, and put her in a little cardboard box, and I cut holes in it because she was not allowed without a cage on the bus. And I took her to the vet, and we just traveled the remainder of our backpacking trip with her. And you'll see some footage while I sing this song, which is called Daisy.
Daisy, I look in your eyes, I think maybe I'm in for a surprise. 'Cause lately, feels like something's missing. I'm crazy for this lady. Baby, come out of nowhere, it's hazy. Just as fast to disappear. But maybe I'm gonna find you. I'm crazy for this lady. rise, and I'll go for this ride. I'll search for you till the sun goes down. When that sun rises, I'll be there, calling the earth until you're found. I just want, no, I need to be near with you. Daisy, don't know how you do it, you amaze me. When I lose hope, I find you waiting, run into my arms. I'm crazy for you, lady. Those ember eyes were so deep, so and high. You are the prize, and I'll go for this ride. I'll search for you till the sun goes down. When that sun rises, I'll be there, cooling the earth until you're found. I just want, no, I need to be near. I'll search for you no matter how far. Know that I will persevere. When I'm in doubt, I will follow my stars. I just want, no, I need to be near. I just want, no, I need to be near. 'Cause I know I need you right here with me. Need you here with me. Oh.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Oh, where was it?
That's my Daisy. That's my little Daisy.
Yeah, but where the snow? Was it
the snow? No, the snow was in Germany. So that was her
first snow for Daisy in Germany?
Yeah, and she loves it. She doesn't get cold.
Okay, so yeah. She stays in Germany. She has no options right now.
She's happy in Germany,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now moving on to my next song, and we're kind of diverting away from my story, but it's about my home of New Zealand, and you may remember from the news just over a year ago we had a terrorist attack, and basically a guy he attacked 2 mosques. And he ended up killing 51 innocent people, all of which were, Muslim who were praying, and the majority of them were immigrants and refugees. And it's just so sad because these people, they left their home countries, to find somewhere safer to live with more opportunities. Maybe their countries had civil war or corruption or just high crime rate. And, in theory, come to New Zealand, it's isolated, it's safe, and, we'll live a good life. And this guy stole that right from them. And it's just this one person. And I wanted to write a song to show that the attitudes of this one guy wasn't the attitudes of New Zealanders. And, you know, just as a tribute to the victims, but also a tribute to immigrants everywhere, because the reality is, as a world, we're mixing. You know, I'm an immigrant here in Germany. My parents were actually from Indonesia originally, and they were immigrants in New Zealand. And they love New Zealand. And so, yeah, I wrote a song kind of dedicated to humanity, and it's called Your New Home. And it's just to say that we should all accept and embrace each other. Yeah. And so
and
I've got a...
also our Creative Mornings idea, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and I've got a music video, which basically like news footage edited to go along with the song as well. So I'll just play that while I sing it. It's called Your New Home.
Thank you so much. I don't want to cry now, but
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so
it's a really, really amazing song, and I'm really feel with New Zealand because I've been there, and I know that you're one of the most open-minded countries in this world, and I feel really sorry that you have to suffer. Yeah, that you have to suffer such a tragic.
Yeah, a tragedy. Yeah. I mean, like, unfortunately, these things happen. I mean, in Germany, was it in Hanau? We had a racially fueled attack where I think it was the shisha bar was attacked, and so it's not just New Zealand; it's the world. And most people are great, embracing everyone, and it's just but everyone needs to embrace each other.
Yeah,
that's how we need to be.
And I think this is also what I think about Corona. Of course, it's also a tragedy, but I can really feel also that all over the world, people trying to connect. I think Creative Mornings is one of the best examples. So, because before I always saw it in a city, in a city, or more like a city project, and now I see it really in a global project. And amazing song. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And yeah, you're right. I mean, like, I actually haven't been to one of the older, before COVID Creative Morning events. But, obviously it's a physical event, so it's only people from Cologne, and each city has their own event. But, now it's so cool to see people here from all over the world. It's super amazing that we can connect this way.
Yes, of course. So
how are we doing for time? I got like 2 songs. I can cut one out, but
normally Hello from Oklahoma City, we have a new one. I have no idea. I think that's a new one. I tried even so I have no idea how people, because normally this is for 1 hour. Do you have time for a last song, or you have any questions? Because normally we said, okay, it's a 1 hour talk, and the last times we really were a little bit too long. So questions, another song, it's up to you guys. Now it's your turn. I will make time for another song. Yeah, so another song. So people are quitting their jobs just for another song.
All right, cool.
Another song.
All right, so as a background, this is my family, my lovely parents, and so I just wanted to give you guys that background. And the reason is because this next song I'm about to sing it's called Brave, and it's about following your dreams. And as I mentioned at the start of this presentation, is that I have a marketing background, and I worked in an office, and my parents were super proud of me when I was in that position. And now, deciding to become a full-time musician, they found that difficult to understand. And so, kind of like just some snaps from my old life. Grey Goose was a premium vodka that I looked after in New Zealand. So there were fancy events to go to, and a lot of cool travel where everything was paid for. But I found, like, whilst you were being spoiled, it was a very fake atmosphere and environment to be around. Like, have a fancy event, invite bloggers and influencers to come along, and you're all just kind of you're not being authentic, and that's what I didn't like. And so I contrast that with my new life, which is like playing music on the street, playing open mic nights, and playing in living rooms and stuff like that. It's not as glamorous, but it's so much more rewarding.
But you will share later where we can find you online, and
definitely.
Perfect.
So
because people were asking where can we see you online, or maybe live one day.
If you just search Ant Utama, you'll find stuff like on YouTube or Instagram or Spotify. But yeah, so search the name and you'll find me everywhere.
And just one question we had for 3 times. Where's
Alita?
Daisy.
Is it Alita? Oh, no. Daisy. Alita's actually out right now with her friend. But Daisy is just down here, like.
So she's fine. She loves it. Okay.
Daisy. She's comed.
Yeah, she just loves the atmosphere, the company after lockdown, company and the songs. Okay.
And what have we got next here? And so the song I wrote, as I mentioned, it's called Brave, and I wrote it about nearly 18 months ago. And my dad and I were calling, as we regularly do, and he had just seen, because when I started doing music in Germany, I just played music on the street. That's where you start. I had no connections, or I didn't know anyone in the industry. So I was playing on the street. I was documenting that on social media, and my dad was just like, he's gone mad. He's just playing music on the street. He's 31 years old. What's he doing with his life? And so he called me and he said, what are you doing? And I just tried to tell him, like, I know what I'm doing. Music is my passion. And of course it's difficult, but I believe I can do this. And he couldn't understand that I wanted to be a musician. And, trying to argue with him just didn't work. And so we just hung up on each other, and I cried because we are very close. I'm very close to my parents. But I was really upset that he didn't believe in me. And then I wrote this song. And when I play the song in public, a lot of people come up to me, and it's like creative people who say, I'm a photographer, or I'm just opening up a cafe and I'm doing my own thing, and my parents don't understand, or it's just hard. You have doubt from other people in your life, and you also have self-doubt, and it's just navigating through that. I think all you people are creative people, and so I think that's something we all go through. And it's just, how do we shift our mindset to something positive, to believe in ourselves? And so there I found my purpose as an artist was to write music that inspires people to realize their potential and achieve their goals, and just to encourage them to take risks. And so, as I said, the first time I took a risk was, or followed my heart, was for my girlfriend Alita. The second time I followed my heart was for Daisy. And the third time is what I'm doing now with my music. And this song is called Brave. It was my first single that I released last October. And I hope that it kind of inspires you. And I want it to be a song that, if you wake up and you just feel like you can't be bothered, and you got so much to do, I want you just to like press play. And then by the end of the song, you're like, yeah, I'm going to go out and smash whatever I need to do. That's the purpose of the song. And so, and also I've got some kind of video footage to go along with this one as well, of my journey as a musician.
My life, I've been tired of hearing you're not good enough. Oh, I knew I was gonna prove them wrong and show them what I'm made of. My father said, you're just a dreamer, pull your head down from the clouds. If you work hard like me, in 40 years' time, you'll retire and be living the dream. I said, but I got this fire as I got to my feet. Yeah, I got desire. As I planting my seed, I'm gonna be brave. I got nothing to lose, get out of the shade. Fill them boots, I'm gonna be great. I've been paying my dues. When I'm brave, there ain't nothing I can't do. What I've learned, doubt is a demon and he wants to call your bluff. But I don't give in. I stand my ground when it comes to push and shove. 'Cause I got this fire burning relentlessly. Yeah, I got desire that surges through me. I'm gonna be brave. I got nothing to lose, get out of the shade. Fill them boots, I'm gonna be great. I've been paying my dues. When I'm brave, there ain't nothing I can't do. No matter what they say, all the doubts and sneers, all the burning in my ears. Not afraid, My fate is in my hands, and I know who I am. Oh, I'm gonna be brave. I got nothing to lose, get out of the shade. Fill them boots, I'm gonna be great. I've been paying my dues. When I'm brave, there ain't nothing I can't do. I'm gonna be brave. I got nothing to lose, get out of the shade. Fill them boots, I'm gonna be great. I've been paying my dues. When I'm brave, there ain't nothing I can't do. When you're brave, there ain't nothing you can do. When we're brave, there ain't nothing we can do.
Woo!
Thank you very much, guys. So yeah, that was my last song called Brave. And look, you're all
You're
creative.
really brave, I can just tell you. Thank you so much. Has anyone any questions? Otherwise, I would just say thank you so much. That was really a really nice story, and it's such an inspiration for everyone. And I will definitely fight for another face-to-face event with you.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to do that once we're allowed to.
Not allowed to have 2 times, but we will see each other face to face at one of our events.
Definitely, I would love to.
And we will.
Yeah, I mean, like you asked where you could find me, and you can see my details there. So if you just search the name on any of those platforms, you'll find me. I will quickly mention that I do have a PayPal Me link here in the corner, and it's just obviously optional. As a musician, as you can imagine, it's tough during these periods, and so I just set up this virtual tip jar for when I do live stream concerts. But I understand creative people are also finding it tough at these times. So it's just, if anyone feels like they want to contribute, that's would be amazing. But it's it's completely up to you. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and please do, if you've got Spotify or Apple Music or Deezer or whatever platform you use, you can find these songs there, and they are. It's not just me with the guitar; it's actually like a full band, and produced by a really good producer in Cologne, Julian David. And so, yeah, give that a listen. It would really be awesome. But I just want to thank you for giving me your time and letting me share my journey.
Yeah, thank you so much. Do you have time for a last picture? Then when you stop sharing your desktop, maybe, I know you're all tired in Germany. I had now my second glass of wine, but it was a really, really nice evening. So if you don't mind, we take just one. Yeah. Everyone, people are coming. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, and see you next week for our Colombia travel. And if you want to support, and please, you will find him. I can also share it, but I'm pretty sure you can find him. And next week we are traveling to Colombia. I hope to see all of you. And again, thank you. That was an amazing, amazing evening.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
High
Take care.
And see you soon. Bye-bye.